Hi, Tom Big Al Schreider here. Back in the 1960s, I asked people, do you remember those? And just the old people remember that. And they say, yeah, I remember back then. This is how they taught us to do network marketing. Now, if you didn't live in the 1960s, you're going to laugh, maybe till milk shoots out your nose, or maybe even break a rib. But this is what they told us to do. They told us to sponsor a person, and here's what you tell them. You say, make a list of everybody you know, hundreds and hundreds of people, and then all of a sudden start calling them and just beg them for appointments and harass them. If nobody gives you appointments, then use the 3-foot rule. Talk to anybody within 3 feet and just try to get somebody to talk to. And if somebody says, yes, 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 I'll talk to you, then say, shut up and sit down for 45 minutes as I talk at you. I'm going to show you a video and some flip charts and samples and tell you all about the company. And at the end, I'm going to, answer all your objections. So just hold all your questions till the end. Just let me talk first. And then we're going to take all your objections and twist them around and, make you feel bad about them, and then we're going to close as hard as we possibly can. If you don't close it, you say, I got to think it over, then we're going to harass you till you buy or die. And that's what they taught us to do. And that's what we did. Now, that's the 1960s. They didn't even have color then. It's all black and white. But some people might be thinking, hey, wait a minute. That's not what people like if they're a prospect. Prospects love to buy, they hate to be sold, and that's really selling them. But thankfully, it's not the 1960s anymore, and they're not coming back. But has anybody ever seen that happen now? I'll go, yeah. A lot of people are still doing that. Why do they do it? We don't know. But probably because we're just duplicating and duplicating and duplicating bad mistakes. So when a new person gets started, they're so intimidated. They say, oh man, there's so much to learn, and I got to do these presentations. I got to memorize this, and what if they bring up objections? It just hurts their head. So how long do we have? Well, a person signs up. Maybe they have 5 or 10 minutes visiting with us before they go home. So we have to do something to help them out. So there's a little system called 3 Easy Habits. And what it's based upon is when new people get started, they don't have any skills, they don't know what to do, they have all these bad habits from the upline being forced on them. So let's take a look at 3 easy habits for starting people. Now, why I like habits is this. Willpower, that just doesn't work. And for all the people that believe that willpower works, remember December 31, we made this New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose weight and exercise. And then, of course, January 1 comes and the subconscious mind says, donuts, and it's over. So willpower is hard. You got to use it every day, every day, every day. But what about habits? Habits happen automatically. If they happen automatically, we could build our business automatically. We can almost put it on autopilot. So for new distributors, we mentioned, hey, try developing some habits. And they say, which habits? We say, I just happen to have some to help you get started. So think in terms, not willpower, but things that we do every day. Now, we all have habits. We put the right shoe on before the left shoe, or maybe brushing our teeth twice a day. Most people have a habit of showering at least once a week. And once it's a habit, it just happens over and over again. We don't feel good, we don't feel bad, it just happens. And how would we like it if our entire team just had a habit of building and building and building every day, and it just happened habitually with no motivation needed? So that's our goal. Now, once a habit's installed, we tend to do it regularly. For instance, how many people have a habit of putting on clothes before they leave the house? And they say, just about everybody does. And how often do we forget? Almost never. It just happens automatically. So let's start with the 3 habits that we're going to use. And habit number 1 is personal development. Now, if you've talked to anybody on your team, you might have noticed this. If you say, hey, let's do some personal development, set aside 15 minutes a day, almost unanimously they will say, gee, I just don't have 15 minutes a day. I'm already full up, I'm busy, don't have time. Well, everybody's going to say that because it's true. We don't have 15 minutes a day. So what are we going to teach them to do so they have the habit? Now, I want you to imagine if everyone on our team invested 15 minutes a day in personal development. Gosh, that would be great. What would happen if something bad happened? Well, if something bad happened, they'd already have the mindset to overcome it and say just one more obstacle along the way. So how are we going to fit in those 15 minutes a day? Well, most people have a smartphone, and that's what they use to wake up in the morning. So, of an alarm clock, they just have a smartphone app that says alarm. So, first thing in the morning, they take their finger and they press the alarm off, because that happens every morning. What we're going to teach them to do is take that same finger, and after they press off, move it slightly, and press the iTunes app or whatever app they have for playing, and start playing some personal development. And they can play this for 15 minutes while they shower, shave, put on makeup, get ready for work, chase kids. Not too hard. And we say, hey, just play the 15 minutes of personal development in the background where you're getting ready for work anyway. And that way you'll have 15 minutes a day. Now, what could they put in there? They could put in, Jim Rohn's audio, or maybe some audio recordings of the convention, or the mastermind event, or even a Big L audio. They could put anything in there, have it in the background, even record their own voice with some instructions, and every morning for 15 minutes, which usually runs a little bit over time, that would play in the background. So what we're doing is putting personal development inside of their minds, almost against their will, is just playing in the background. The only effort is learning how to move this finger from here over to here, from the alarm off to the iTunes. Now, most people have the ability to move that finger 1 second in the morning, and after a while, it could become a habit. So the only way they're going to have this on their phone is we help them put it on, so we might want to make sure we have some personal development to load on their phone right away. So habit number 1, personal development, happens automatically, and if they get the mindset right, wow, wouldn't that be a great team where everybody started thinking more positively? He said, well, that sounds pretty good. What could I do for the second habit? Well, once we've committed them to the first habit, got some personal development on their phone, what could we do? Well, the second habit for new people, because they don't have any skills yet, they don't know how to talk to people, they don't know anything, might be, meet one person new every day. So, one person new every day, it sounds good, and like most things in network marketing, it sounds good, but it's a lot harder to do in real life. One of the irritations we have when we get started is everybody tells us what to do, but nobody tells us how to do it. So when our new distributor meets a brand new person, it could be pretty ugly. If we just say, hey, just go out and talk to them, they'll end up saying things like, I'm in the global search for entrepreneurial talent, for time freedom, financial freedom, whereby I can enhance the efforts through multiple streams of residual income, and people are going to run away. Or, what if we actually told our new distributors what to say, or taught them a little bit about meeting people, about tone of voice or body language or some words? If we got our new distributor to have one little tiny thing under control, they're going to feel pretty good. So what I like to say is when new people get started, we want to give them maybe just a little bit of how to retail, maybe a little bit how to sponsor, just little things, master them, and then they can go out and actually do them. So what's the first little building block is how to talk to these people. Well, they say, well, I can say hi, and I can say, how are you? And, okay, I'll start listening. I'll have a few listening skills. I said, great, that's a good start. Now, what we're going to do is listen to see if they have a problem. Because if they have a problem, maybe we can help. And we can offer them one more option in their life. So you don't have to sell. You don't have to get rejected. It's not a win-lose, live or die situation. All we're going to do is have one conversation a day with people. Listen, if they have a problem that we can help, hey, We can suggest it, but only as one more option in their life. That way, you're never rejected. Okay. So what am I going to say? What am I going to say? He says, well, listen for the problem. Ask them again to make sure they have the problem. And then ask them, well, do you want to fix it? And you're done. If they want to fix it, you're 80% of the way there. So let's try this. Let's imagine that new distributor was selling diet products. Well, if we don't tell them what to say, it could be pretty ugly. They could go to all the overweight people and say, tired of being fat, and they might reject them. Or he might say, I got this great thing that'll make you skinny, and people might reject it. It could be ugly. So we have to at least give them some things to say. So remember the little formula here. The formula is we're going to double check if they have a problem, and then we're going to ask them if they want to fix it. If they want to fix it, we're 80% of the way there. It's pretty hard to mess it up. If somebody says, yeah, I want to fix my problem, you have some products to fix it, that'd be pretty easy. So let's try this diet example. Maybe somewhere in conversation, we're talking about donuts. And you might say, find dieting difficult? Now, what do all of us slightly overweight people think? Yeah, it's really difficult. So what happened is they checked for the problem. And yeah, I have the problem that you suggested. Well, the next obvious question is, would it be okay if you fixed it? And every person that's overweight said, yeah, I would like to fix my dieting problem, sure. 80% there. So the new person has this one little tiny block. I said, well, I meet a new person, listen for the problem. If the problem is something I can fix, I say these 2 sentences. Most new distributors can learn 2 sentences. So let's try another example. Let's say we sold wrinkle cream, anti-wrinkle cream. I said, well, somewhere in the conversation, when somebody says, they like taking good care of their skin, whatever, or about wrinkles, you could talk to them. So the new person says, well, what do I say? And you say, well, ask them questions such as, do you like taking good care of your skin? And they're going to say, yeah, of course. Say, well, would it be okay if you tried this new anti-wrinkle cream sample? What's most people going to say? Yeah. Now, if they say no, no harm, no foul, it's not over. Just continue the conversation. Do this once a day. 365 days a year. You're going to have plenty of volunteers in your business along the way. And most of these people won't be interested either for your business or for your product, and all you did was 2 little sentences. Let's do another example. Let's say you sold travel, and you might say to somebody in conversation, do you like to travel? Yeah. Would it be okay if you could do it at a discount? Well, yeah. That'd be great. Now it's 80% done. The new person has success, and if the person says, no, I don't want to travel discount, I get air sick, car sick, I get just sick of travel, and you say, yeah, okay, and what's the latest movie you saw? The conversation continues. So we could do this for almost any product or service. If you sold utilities, you might say, do you get an electric bill? And people go, yeah. Well, would it be okay if it was lower? Okay. And they got it. So this little module of retailing makes it easy for them. Or, what about business? You might ask somebody, does this job interfere with your week? And they go, yeah. About 5 times every week it interferes with it. So, well, would it be okay if you could have your own business? And they're going, yay. That was pretty easy. Or maybe your new distributor commutes to work every day. And you go, well, hate commuting? Yeah. Would it be okay if you could work out of your home instead? Yeah. Do you think that would be a good thing to say to people? Yeah. And if they love commuting, don't worry about it. If they hate commuting, we can have a conversation. I said, wow, that was pretty easy. So getting a new person started, talking 1 person a day, the secret is not telling them to do it. The secret is giving them what to say so they don't embarrass themselves. It's not a win-lose situation. And just remind them, we're just offering them one more option in their life. That's it. I said, oh, okay. So teaching people one new person a day, they have a positive attitude, we already can see our team starting to grow pretty rapidly. So what's habit number 3? Habit number 3 is events. Now, many people here probably watching this event to the mastermind event or your company convention or maybe a big rally. If you go to events, some interesting things happen. Now, when I first got started my career, I did not quite get events. Here's what I told my downline when I first got started. I said, don't go. Save the money, use the money to bribe somebody to be a customer. They go, oh, okay. Well, that was wrong, but I was wrong about many things when I got started because, hey, when we all start, we know not very much. So, events. Why are events important? Well, here's the situation. If we're going to build a business, we have to take a look at the basic building block, and that is the distributor. Our job is to take an ordinary person and build them into a leader. And it's going to take a commitment on their part. Now, they're not going to get that commitment when they sign up right away. It's going to take a little bit of time. They're going to be associated with some positive people. And then inside their head, they say, now's the time for me to maybe make this a business. They don't do that on the initial presentation. Maybe not after they join, maybe after a month, 2 months, but what triggers this? Well, events is what can trigger this. When a person goes to an event, interesting things happen. At home, they're around many, many people that are negative, don't believe them. They're kind of the loner with that crazy idea. But at an event, they're surrounded with like-minded people. And all of a sudden, this dream of a big business starts making sense. They start saying, you know what? I could do this. Now, also at the event, when a new person comes, they might see somebody who's a carpenter, and they're a carpenter, or somebody who's a secretary, and they're a secretary. They see somebody that they can relate with, and they say, if that person can do it, I can do it. Or they see somebody on stage that says, man, that person's really terrible. I can do a whole lot better. I'm going to kill it in this business. Events brings belief inside people, and they need a strong level of belief to make that strong commitment. So imagine this. Imagine the next big event that your company had. You had a whole team of people there. Or maybe at the mastermind event in Florida, you had a whole team of people there. Or maybe at the big rally that you had a whole team of people there. And they all go home with common belief because they were surrounded this entire time with other people who thought the same. So building toward events is key. I didn't get it in the beginning because I thought, hey, we're selling some product. I forgot that we're building people. Events will build people. They'll get motivated. They set goals. Their dreams start becoming a reality. It's kind of a lot of fun. So let me tell you the story about events that really brought it home for me. Many, many years ago, like 25 years ago, my son was 16 years old. And like most high school students, not really that interested in school. So he said, yeah, I'll do network marketing on the side. Now, he's only 16. And you're probably thinking, well, don't you have to be 18? Well, probably. But no, there was no age thing on the application, so he joined. Now, being his father, I didn't want to help him because, well, if I help him, he'd never understand desperation, rejection, hopelessness, all the bad things that happen. So he was completely on his own. You have to have this experience in our life to relate to new people that have it. So he's on his own. He's thinking, okay, I'll just pick up the phone and call people because they won't know how old I am on the phone. So he called people. That didn't work very good. But he hears about an event in Dallas, Texas, about 5 hours away. So him and his friend drive up to Dallas, Texas. When they drive up to Dallas, they say, no, this is going to be great. And at the event, they get wired, 16 years old. They think, man, this is our chance. We're going to earn more than our teachers. It's going to be the greatest thing ever in the history of mankind. On the way back, they're planning for the next big event. They got the big picture. They saw other people that believed the same way they did, not like their high school classmates. Next event comes 3 months later. It's still just the two of them. So on the way back, they start talking, says, wow, these events are great. We can see the big picture, but nobody listens to us. if we could just get people to the event, well, we'll let the event sell them. Well, that's interesting because the event does sell people. At the mastermind event, you'll hear a lot of people say, yeah, I went through years ago, but I brought my spouse, and now my spouse believes, where before my spouse didn't believe. Or some people go and say, I got it, this is my time. So any big event, you're surrounded by like-minded people. They see people on stage that they believe. They probably learned some things at the event. It's going to help build. So my son and his friend on the way back says, we just got to change this. So they devised a plan of how to invite people to the event. And they learned how to talk to the 4 different color personalities so that whoever they talked to would be interested in the event. Well, here's what happened 1 year later, 4 events later. My son's at the event. He has 750 people at the event from his team. Now, not 750 distributors, but 750 committed people at the event in 1 year's time. And that's how he started his business. So without skills, being a long hair rock drummer for his high school band, he was able to build a team just by promoting events. So events create new motivation, goals, commitments, and people. So we need a plan to get people to events. Well, when's the best time to talk to people about events? Maybe, well, when they're at their highest enthusiasm right after they join. You might have a set of words such as most people who get started get the company convention event ticket right away. Or most people that decide to build a business decide to go to the mastermind event in Florida. Or most people that get started decide to be on our group calls and accountability calls. And so we can start building toward events. I want you to imagine what would happen if, with no other skills, just inviting people to the event, you would be able to have 750 team members at a huge event. The momentum would be fantastic. So those are the 3 habits. Habit number 1 is personal development. Habit number 2 is talk to 1 person a day. And habit number 3 was build and promote events. So I went from anti-event to 100% event. And I went from just telling people to go out and talk to people to actually say, here's exactly what to say. And I went from not listening to personal development to all of a sudden saying, hey, I start listening to personal development, and it's made a change in my life. We can change and develop these habits. So remember, it's not the willpower we use, it's the habits that we have that make a difference. So what habits are you going to develop for your team? Well, let me make a suggestion. These 3 habits are pretty good starts. If they follow these 3 things, they'll be building a team automatically because every day new people from either them or members on their team are being exposed to the business with the right words because we got that little building block right. And every day people listen to personal development because, lots of bad things happen. And every day people are building toward events. So if you're watching this video, say, hey, let's put these habits together right away. Maybe write them down and say, hey, maybe I'll start with the first one right now. So appreciate you watching this. I hope to see a lot of you at the mastermind event or from other events around the country. And here's the last bit of advice. If we learn something and don't use it, it's the same as not learning at all. So write down one of these habits, start with at least one, and see where it takes you. And I'll see everybody here around the different countries at different meetings and, of course, at the mastermind event. Talk to you later.